Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast.
Now back to Studio A and the award-winning Scott Michlin Morning Program on KSJE.
Joining me in the studio on his recent visit to San Juan County, Senator Ben Ray Luján is here in Studio A with me. Senator Lujan, nice to have you back.
Oh, it's good to be with you, Scott. It's good to be with you in the studio.
Thank you for coming in. And your visit to northwest New Mexico, you've been kind of making the rounds, and how are people been receiving you, I guess?
Meaningful meetings. I very much appreciate everyone that's come out to share information. A lot of excitement on the ground as well, so it's always fun to visit with friends and family here in San Juan County. But the conversations here in San Juan County during this part of the trip have been in and around food access,
right.
Farmers and ranchers, looking at agricultural programs as well, and then healthcare, especially home health. You know, one of the areas that I've been doing a lot of work in, Scott, is making sure that families that care for others, other loved ones in their home, where the wishes of a loved one is, no, I want to be taken care of at home, and as long as they're able to, we should support that. And that's the way I was born and raised. You know, when I was young, my grandparents moved in with us, we moved in with them, and we took care of one another. And recently, with a diagnosis with my mom, and myself and my siblings, we have a responsibility to be with mom. And so, you know, I get to spend more time with her, sleep at mom's house. And, you know, my joke with mom is, she said, I'm not moving in with you, you're not moving in with me, but you can spend the night at the house. But what we've discovered, like so many families know, is unless you're Medicaid eligible, and there may be a little bit if you're Medicare eligible, there's nothing else for families in the middle, and especially for caregivers. That has to change. And so we had some really emotional testimonials over the last few days that remind me what's at stake here and how we need to work together. So it's been incredible. You know, a beautiful morning today. You know, I don't know, what were you, seats you were out there running like 63 degrees at 6 a.m. So, you know, it's a beautiful morning too, so it's good to be here.
More power to him. Yeah. That's all I can say about that, but good for him. Also, I know, well, healthcare is a big deal, of course, and so that's just one other part of the healthcare system that probably needs some attention, as I'm sure you know as well. You're also in a pretty red part of your district, and so are you hearing from folks on the other side of the aisle a little bit about how they feel on the work that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Look,
they're not shy.
When it comes to taking care of families, ensuring that loved ones have access to a good doctor, that if you find yourself with a health emergency like I did 4 years ago where I survived a stroke, that you're not going to go see the doctor and then get these bills that are going to make you lose your home, or where you have this emergency where now you're just in a financial hole. People want access to care. They want to be able to afford to live. And what I'm hearing from Democrats, Republicans, Libertarian constituents, those that are independents as well, is how expensive everything is now. And a lot of folks that supported this president feel like he didn't deliver what he said. You know, we're in another forever war. President Trump said 6 days. Now we're over 6 months, $1 billion a day. People that are like myself, you know, if you're putting diesel in the tractor and the truck, can't afford it anymore. If you're just filling up your vehicle, can't afford that. Grocery prices have gone up, not gone down. And it's a direct result of policy decisions made. You know, these tariffs and here and there, the Strait of Hormuz being closed with cost of fuel, cost of fertilizer, and then tariffs. You know, some of the farmers out here, they can't afford implements anymore because they're just cost prohibitive. And electricity prices are going up and up and up and up as well. So folks just aren't happy in those spaces as well. So I appreciate everyone that's been coming out, and, you know, where we share values and ideas as well, and policy approaches. I love it. And there's places where there may be some disagreement on how to get there, but we have the same goals. We want to make things better for people. So I very much appreciate everyone that comes on out to chat and share stories. Yeah.
Got it. And you mentioned healthcare, of course. You have recently introduced the Stroke Act.
Yes.
A personal reason, certainly, as you mentioned, but a lot of assistance for others as well. But that includes a lot of education, treatment, and more as part of this act that you've introduced, right?
Yeah, it's a real simple idea, Scott. And I have more awareness since I survived that stroke as well. And I've visited with constituents that I never knew, but reached out to me to share, hey, I had a stroke as well, or this is what I went through, and here's what wasn't working to get me some help, like getting some rehabilitation, whether it's inpatient or outpatient. Right. There's such a shortage out there as well. So this legislation is simple. It provides more support to the National Institutes of Health, working with neurologists to research strokes, how to better prevent them, and then how to better help a patient if they've had a stroke as well. And then to ensure that once they survive the stroke, that there's going to be rehabilitation for them as well. Real simple idea. I'm really proud of the number of colleagues that support this idea from across the country, the number of organizations. This is not Democrat, Republican. This is right and wrong. This is about working together in a thoughtful way where it's going to help so many people here in New Mexico and people across the country. The other benefit of the research around strokes is that the research there also provides support to families maybe faced with dementia or Alzheimer's or other traumatic brain injuries as well. It's all connected. So I'm very proud of this idea, of this legislation, and then much co-sponsors and the support that we're seeing from so many across the country.
Very good.
Yes.
You think it will work its way through the process at Congress?
Well, I don't know if this legislation will pass this legislative session. This legislation was created in a way that it will pass. This is something that can get to the president for signature as well. So many families across New Mexico and across the country that are struggling with all of these challenges as well. And with strokes, all the research is showing that younger and younger people are having strokes as well. So this is something we need to get in front of, and I'm hopeful that this idea will be part of the solution in helping people live, stay stronger, survive, and just get better.
Well, and again, for you, it's personal.
Absolutely. I'm blessed that I got better. A lot of prayer, great neurologists, doctors, family support, but I had access to be able to get to a hospital where I live, out in Nambe. Not a lot of folks have proximity to get there, and I learned time's not on your side. There's a drug out there now, a prescription drug, that if you have a stroke and you take it, within 30 to 60 minutes, it will stop the blood from rushing into the brain. I miss that. So, I had surgery and things of that nature, but why can't that window be expanded? What discoveries need to be made so that families don't have to go through the recovery of having surgery where, they're opening up your head. And so I'm really hopeful here as well. I've learned a lot of lessons, but to everyone out there that prayed for me, I just want to say thank you, because it all made a difference.
Very good. Well, and now you're making a difference with this legislation, it looks like,
sir.
as well.
So, God willing, sir. God willing, yes,
very
sir.
good. We'll follow it and see how it goes.
Yeah.
The other legislation I know that you're very proud of and following is the RECA, Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, which is available now for folks, for downwinders and other folks who may be impacted by the uranium mining and other industries in New Mexico and testing. And so that window is closing, though. It's only going to be open for a little over another year from now, right?
That's
right.
So
that's an important message to share with our audiences today as well, to take
Scott,
advantage of that.
Family after family shared stories with me over the years about their challenges. So many that are struggling with cancer or lost a family member to cancer as well because of exposure, being downwind of nuclear testing or uranium mine workers as well. And look, some of my colleagues back in the 1990s, they saw right to move legislation that provided some support for some families. Uranium mine workers, they were only covered through 1971. So if you had a uranium mine worker that started working after 1971, working side by side with someone else, the person that started working before 72, they got help. If you started working after 72, nothing. So we were able to expand this, and this has taken many, many years to work together. But I'm very proud that I worked with a Republican colleague out of Missouri, a really conservative colleague, Josh Hawley, and we found a way to work together to provide more coverage to families in New Mexico, in Idaho, in Missouri, The work still continues because there's so many other parts of the country that need support. But for uranium mine workers that worked post 1971, for everyone that lives in New Mexico that has certain cancers, every county in New Mexico is now considered a downwind county. What that means is you can apply to this program. It's a one-time $100,000 benefit that is tax-free. And the program does expire at the end of 2027. So I'm doing everything I can to create awareness, get word out. Later today, we'll be having a Radiation Exposure Compensation Act roundtable forum out in McKinley County, down in Gallup as well. And I want to thank Phil Harrison for the work he's been doing there. But it's really the families, the uranium mine workers, all of the families through New Mexico that get the credit for being advocates, for reaching out to families throughout the United States that led to this legislation being adopted. And I'm just truly honored that the work that I did, my goodness, back from 2009 until today, that we finally found a way to work together in a bipartisan way, Democrats and Republicans, that got this legislation passed, and it was signed by this president. So very proud of this, but we need to make sure families have awareness to help them. It won't make them whole, but this will help them a little because those bills, they add up.
Sure, very true. And we're showing a little bit of information on the screen for folks who are watching us on our video platforms this morning about how to make a claim, how to go about doing that, finding out more information. This is, of course, from the Navajo Nation Department of Health, but there's other information out there as well. But we do want to let folks know because that deadline is coming up end of 2027, as you mentioned. And this meeting in Gallup, I think, will be more information to share and more information going back and forth, right, that you're going to be attending?
That is correct. And so if you're down in and around Gallup, please come on by this afternoon. But I'm doing everything I can to spread the word throughout New Mexico. Every county in New Mexico, if you have one of these cancers, and you can go to these various websites as well. You can reach out to the nation here, and they'll share information. There's volunteers, there's nonprofits that are out there helping. So be wary of anyone that's reaching out to you to say, hey, sign here, we're going to be able to get you this claim. A lot of those folks are just going to take money from you. There's organizations out there that are volunteering to help you to make sure that you're able to make this claim as well. Our office will provide support as well, so reach out to us. But if you're out there and you're faced with one of these cancers, please reach out, sign up for this program, don't wait. This was created so that we could create a path for you to apply. The state of New Mexico, through our vital statistics, is working to recreate any health documents that you may have. You could even use old yearbook photos, testimonials from friends that you lived in these communities or that you worked in the mines as well. So just take a look at this, and everyone out there, just thanks for being strong and thanks for your advocacy. This was an honor to be able to get adopted.
Very good, very good. I want to ask you, before we run out of time, a little bit about public lands and some of that issue. We've seen some issues around Chaco Canyon, of course, which is a site near and dear to many hearts in our state and our region and our world. World Heritage Site. Also some other sensitive areas around New Mexico and also in the Four Corners region, like Bears Ears and things like that. We've seen some action by the administration about taking land away from being open to the public, perhaps, and so I just want to get your thoughts on some of these different areas and what's going on.
Look, Scott, there are special sacred places that deserve protection. And I think everyone agrees with that. You know, even folks from various industries that go out into our public lands that maybe produce, you know, fossil fuels or, you know, gas that powers our vehicles or whatever it may be. It's hard to find someone that doesn't agree that places should be protected, and especially with our public lands. So many families that hunt and fish, and I mean, heck, look where I am. Some of the most pristine fishing in the world is right here in San Juan County, and some of the most incredible hunting not far from where we are. The respect that we have for our Native American brothers and sisters in these sacred sites. The way that I often describe this to my colleagues, Scott, about protecting sacred sites that don't have the honor of representing Native American communities is, if you laid a loved one to rest, you would not anyone to desecrate that site, that grave site for your family. Wherever you go to church, if you're a person of faith, you wouldn't want someone to desecrate that church or that place of worship. That's what we're talking about here. Let's work together to make sure we're protecting these special places as well, that we're protecting our public lands where we hunt and we fish, we gather wood or stone or herbs. We can do all of this together as well. So I push back against this administration when they do this in the way that they do, which is just say, no, we're going to open it up. We're going to let whoever wants to come in, the highest bidder, take it over, as opposed to involving the community from the people that live in these areas and offering a chance for public comment and really studying and researching. That's the way it should be. So a special place like Chaco Canyon, not just sacred to the Pueblo brothers and sisters we have, the Navajo brothers and sisters that we have, but one of the first places of commerce that's in the United States, and I would argue in different parts of the world, 850 AD. I mean, we have to protect these very, very special places. So I appreciate the question very much and look forward to listening and working with everyone. And look, again, these are values that we share. Let's find a way to work together and protect places that deserve protection. And Bears Ears, Staircase, Chaco, those are just a few examples of places that deserve protection.
Right. We've seen the borders of these places kind of moving around, and so I guess the next question would be, if you can look into your crystal ball to see maybe what's going to happen in Congress after the midterms, but would there be a way to permanently protect some of these areas? I guess that would have to be through legislation then, right? Just so that this can't happen under a different presidential administration, to permanently set these boundaries.
A lot of these areas are arguably permanently protected. This administration is doing something that has never been done in pulling back through executive action some of these protections and then saying, well, I'll go to court and, come fight me in court. There has to be a way to ensure that going forward that we can protect these very special places, public lands. I mean, look, Teddy Roosevelt, we go back to, a Republican president that understood the importance of creating these special places for people all across the United States. These are all of our public lands as well. And so we need to get back to that spirit as well. And, to all my colleagues that don't represent some of these areas, we invite them down. Come on down. We'll take you on a horseback. I'll take you on a mountain bike. I'll take you for a walk. We'll take you fishing, hunting. And if you really want to go hunting, and you want to get into the back areas, you go with Martin Heinrich. Martin will put on a pack and he'll take you out there for a week. I'll take you out there for half a day or so as well. But we can do this together. We can do this together. And so I'm just hopeful that more people are willing to travel out west and see the importance of protecting these areas as well.
All right, very good. Senator Lujan, it's always great to visit with you. We want to keep you on schedule, so I know your time is limited, but I appreciate you spending some of it with me this morning. Thank you.
Always good to see you, sir. Great to see you here in the studio and all that you've created here. This is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Senator Ben Ray Luján, my guest here on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.